What if I told you that aging isn't a biological mistake, but something evolution never truly cared to fix? Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every weakening muscle raises one disturbing question. If evolution is supposed to help us survive, why does it let us grow old? The answer isn't just surprising, it completely changes how you'll see your own body.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.
Thousands of years, humans have searched for one impossible dream: the fountain of youth. Ancient emperors sent explorers across oceans looking for magical waters. Alchemists spent their lives searching for an elixir that could stop aging. Today, billion-dollar companies invest in anti-aging research, hoping to slow or even reverse the aging process. Yet despite all our technology, every human who has ever lived has faced the same unavoidable reality: we all grow old. But here's the real mystery. Nature has created creatures that regenerate lost limbs. Some animals barely seem to age at all. Others can survive conditions that would instantly kill a human. So why didn't evolution give us those abilities? After all, evolution rewards survival, doesn't it? Well, not exactly. To understand why humans age, we first need to understand what evolution actually wants. And the answer is probably not what you think. Most people imagine evolution as a brilliant engineer, as if nature is constantly upgrading every species toward perfection. But evolution doesn't think, it doesn't plan, it doesn't care. Evolution has no goal. Instead, evolution is simply the result of one basic process. Random genetic mutations happen. Some mutations help organisms leave more offspring. Those genes become more common. Others disappear. That's it. Notice something important. Evolution doesn't reward the longest life. It rewards successful reproduction. Those are two very different things. Imagine two ancient humans. One lives to be 40 but has 6 healthy children. Another lives to be 120 but never has children. Which genes survive? Not the longer-lived persons. The genes passed to the next generation belong to the parent who reproduced successfully. From evolution's perspective, mission accomplished. Whether that parent lives another 50 years often matters far less. That changes everything. Now imagine waking up 100,000 years ago. There are no hospitals, no antibiotics, no grocery stores, no clean drinking water. Every day is dangerous. A simple infection could be deadly. A broken bone might mean death. Predators are everywhere. Food is never guaranteed. Most humans never reached old age, not because aging killed them, but because something else usually did first: disease, starvation, violence, accidents. In that environment, natural selection focused on one thing: helping people survive long enough to reproduce. There was very little evolutionary pressure to keep bodies functioning perfectly at 70 or 80 years old, because very few individuals ever reached those ages. Evolution solved the problems that mattered most. Everything after reproduction became much less important. Think about buying a car. Would you spend twice as much money making every part last for 500 years if you only plan to drive it for 10? Probably not. Your body follows a surprisingly similar strategy. Every day, your cells repair damaged DNA, replace worn-out tissues, destroy dangerous cells, fight infections. All of that requires enormous amounts of energy, but energy is limited. Evolution constantly balances two priorities. Should resources be spent growing stronger, having children, or endlessly repairing the body? Perfect maintenance would require tremendous energy. Instead, evolution made a compromise. Repair enough damage to reach reproductive age. After that, maintenance slowly becomes less effective. Tiny injuries begin to accumulate. Proteins become damaged. Cells stop dividing normally. DNA errors increase. The result is something we recognize as aging. Not because evolution wanted aging, but because perfect repair was simply too expensive. Here's where the story becomes even stranger. Some genes that help us when we're young actually hurt us later in life. At first, that sounds impossible. Why would evolution keep harmful genes? Because timing matters. Imagine a gene that makes your bones stronger during your 20s. That helps you survive, find food, protect your family, raise children. But the same gene increases inflammation after age 60. From evolution's perspective, that's still a winning deal. Why? because the reproductive benefit happened first. Scientists call this idea antagonistic pleiotropy. One gene, two effects. Helpful early, harmful later. Evolution favors the early advantage because that's when reproduction usually happens. Your future health becomes a secondary concern. And suddenly, growing old starts making much more sense. Now comes the question that has fascinated scientists for decades. If aging is inevitable, why do some animals seem to escape it? Take the hydra, a tiny freshwater creature only a few millimeters long. It constantly replaces its cells with fresh ones. In laboratory conditions, hydras show almost no measurable signs of aging. They don't appear to grow weaker simply because time passes. Then there's the lobster. Unlike humans, lobsters continue growing throughout most of their lives. They produce an enzyme called telomerase, which helps maintain the protective ends of their chromosomes. This allows many of their cells to keep dividing longer than ours. But lobsters aren't immortal. Eventually, they face disease, injury, or the enormous energy cost of growing and molting. And perhaps the most famous example is the immortal jellyfish. When threatened, starving, or injured, this remarkable jellyfish can reverse its life cycle, transforming from an adult back into an earlier stage of development. It's almost like pressing nature's reset button. These creatures prove something extraordinary. Aging isn't exactly the same in every species. Nature has evolved many different strategies for survival. So why didn't humans evolve one of them? The answer lies in trade-offs. Imagine giving human cells the ability to divide forever. At first, that sounds incredible. No wrinkles, no failing organs, no aging. But there's a dangerous problem. Cancer. Every time a cell divides, there's a chance for mistakes in its DNA. If cells could multiply endlessly without limits, even a tiny mutation could grow into a deadly tumor. That's why our bodies have built-in safety systems. Many damaged cells stop dividing altogether. Others destroy themselves through a process called apoptosis, or programmed cell death. These systems protect us from cancer, but they also contribute to aging. It's one of evolution's biggest compromises. A body that repairs itself forever may also create more opportunities for cancer. A body that limits damaged cells ages, but stays safer for longer. Evolution didn't choose perfection, it chose balance. Here's something remarkable. Just a few hundred years ago, the average human lifespan was dramatically shorter than it is today. But not because evolution suddenly changed. Instead, humans changed their environment. Clean drinking water, vaccines, antibiotics, safer childbirth, better nutrition, modern medicine. These advances removed many of the dangers that used to kill people early in life. For the first time in history, millions of people began living long enough to experience aging itself. In other words, we didn't evolve to live much longer. We learned how to survive the dangers that once prevented old age. Today, many diseases we associate with aging, heart disease, Alzheimer's, certain cancers, have become common partly because more people now live long enough to develop them. Ironically, the better we became at staying alive, the more visible aging became. Now we arrive at one of the biggest scientific questions of the 21st century. Can aging itself be treated? Around the world, researchers are studying the biology of aging. Some are investigating drugs that remove old, worn-out cells known as senescent cells. Others are exploring ways to improve DNA repair. Some scientists are studying stem cells. Others hope to reprogram adult cells to behave like younger ones. Researchers are also examining genes linked to exceptionally long-lived families, hoping to understand why some people remain healthier for longer. These discoveries are exciting, but it's important to be realistic. No proven treatment can stop or reverse human aging entirely. Despite headlines you may see online, there is currently no scientifically established cure for aging. Scientists continue to make progress, but many questions remain unanswered. By now, the mystery begins to disappear. We often assume evolution is trying to build the perfect body, but evolution isn't chasing perfection, it's chasing successful reproduction. Once genes have been passed to the next generation, natural selection becomes much weaker. That doesn't mean older people are unimportant. In humans, grandparents often help families survive, share knowledge, and care for children. Many scientists believe these contributions may also have influenced human evolution. But our bodies were never designed to remain flawless forever. Instead, they're the result of millions of years of compromises. Every heartbeat, every breath, every cell carries the history of those compromises. So, why do we age if evolution wants us to survive? Because evolution doesn't promise eternal youth. It only needs us to survive long enough to pass our genes to the next generation. Everything after that is shaped by trade-offs, limited energy, and the countless compromises written into our biology over millions of years. Yet humans have always refused to accept limits. From searching for mythical fountains of youth to developing cutting-edge medical research, our desire to understand aging has never faded. Perhaps one day science will dramatically slow the aging process. Perhaps it won't. But one thing is already certain. Understanding why we age brings us one step closer to understanding what it truly means to be human.